evening and welcome to the Urban League of Springfield's 110th anniversary celebration. I'm Ciara Speller. We thank you for your presence this evening. This will prove to be an exciting and informational celebration. We're delighted and grateful you chose to share this evening with us. The Urban League of Springfield has been serving the African American and Latinx communities for a century and beyond in important areas such as workforce development, education equity, and health wellness equity. The UL's anniversary celebration provides us with an opportunity to highlight Urban League program accomplishments and new initiatives. The Urban League has been focused on social and economic inequities that impact the well-being of our constituents, specifically positive youth development programming, support for small Black businesses, combating food insecurity, and providing in and out of school youth development programming are all part of the scope and range of UL services. Lastly, the Urban League is the largest provider of productive aging services in the Black community. This work allows the Urban League to address the human resource needs of our most vulnerable citizens. Our theme this year, Closing the Education COVID Gap for Black and Brown Children, spotlights existing racial and economic disparities of marginalized children and families. Children in Black and Brown communities are faced with the lack of educational resources, high student-teacher ratios, non-existent tutorial assistance, and inadequate technological advancement. Innovative and creative action plans are essential to education reform, and education must remain a priority as we gradually recover. The Urban League strongly believes that we can develop strong communities if we make it a priority to develop the human capital in communities. This includes our children and youth, parents and entrepreneurs. Tonight, we'll recognize individuals who have demonstrated extraordinary commitment and professional excellence in their efforts to close the achievement gap. We will also acknowledge the John F. Kennedy Middle School 6th grade students for their excellent work with the Great Migration. Students interviewed seniors regarding their experiences of migrating from the South to various states throughout the United States. I'll now share a little history about the Springfield Urban League. It was established in 1913 and is part of the National Urban League network of 90 affiliates throughout the United States. The Urban League is the oldest and largest community-based movement devoted to empowering African Americans to enter the economic and social mainstream in the country. The mission of the Urban League of Springfield is to empower communities and change lives. The Urban League accomplishes this by promoting economic empowerment, educational equity and excellence, health and wellness, productive aging, youth development, and public policy advocacy for the underserved and underrepresented. In this light this evening, we'll recognize individuals and institutions that exemplify many of the same attributes that are consistent with qualities that make up a strong, viable community. As we proceed this evening, we hope that you'll be inspired and uplifted by the program that the Urban League board and staff have planned for you. Our entertainment features Kayla Staley, a young freelance vocalist, performer, entertainer, and a student at the Springfield Conservatory of the Arts. We will be inspired and informed this evening by our keynote speaker, Massachusetts Secretary of Education, Dr. Patrick Tutwiler. All of our corporate partners have been generous and supportive of the Urban League's mission, and we enjoy a great working relationship. We thank all of our sponsors this evening. Your support is vitally important and extremely helpful to support the Urban League's programs and operations. Thank you. And lastly, after 50 years of service to the Urban League of Springfield, Inc. and Greater Springfield, Henry M. Thomas III, past president and CEO, announced his retirement March 1st, 2023. Henry has started his next chapter and has been given the prestigious President Emeritus status. He will be an advisor and raise funds for the organization as the Urban League searches for their next leader. On behalf of the board and staff, we congratulate you, Henry, on your retirement and wish you well, and your wife, Devania, as well. Continue to be brave and stay strong.
Let us pray. Our Lord and our God, as we bow today, we first give you praise, glory, and honor. We declare how excellent you are, how excellent are your ways at all times and in all circumstances. We thank you for this occasion and the annual celebration that we're lifting up today, and we're thankful for those who are acknowledging the continued good works of the Urban League of Springfield. We invite your blessings upon all who have gathered with us virtually as we support the mission and the mandate of our organization, as we continue to strive for educational equity, for good health and wellness, for the development of our youth, for the prosperity of our community. And then we pray that you'll continue to strengthen the Urban League of Springfield, that you will uplift and encourage our staff, our board, and supporters during this auspicious season in which new leadership is stepping forward, that you would be our guide as we go forth into an even greater and more glorious future. And we're thankful for all that you have done and accomplished over 110 years. And we know that you'll continue to be faithful in the years to come. This is our prayer. We ask and beseech it in the power and provision that is yours and yours alone. And for all of this, we thank you and we say, Amen.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won.
Good evening. This is Mayor Dominic Sarno, and congratulations to the Urban League of Springfield on your 110th anniversary. I'd be remiss if I didn't say a few words about my dear friend, Henry Thomas, well-respected leader of the Urban League of Springfield, not only in the area but throughout the nation. Henry, thank you for your half-century years of service to the Urban League. And I wish you and Dee and the rest of your family good health and continued success in all your future endeavors. 110 years, the Urban League has been on the forefront of opening up opportunities of empowerment and breaking down barriers, especially to our young people when it came and continues to come with education, the legendary Camp Atwater, the foster grandparent program, workforce development, you name it. The Urban League has been there to bring people together and to make sure that everyone that walks through their doors has an opportunity for a pathway of a positive life. I'd like to also thank all the very generous benefactors from our business community and philanthropic community for your efforts to continue to fund the Urban League of Springfield. Your efforts make a difference, and it makes for a better Springfield, and I'm deeply grateful and appreciative of those continued and caring efforts. So to the Urban League, happy 110th anniversary, and thank you for what you do day in and day out to empower people, to open doors, to break down barriers, especially when it comes in the world of education. I wish you all good health and continued success. God bless.
Good evening. This is State Representative Bud L. Williams from the 11th Hamden District of the Great and General Court, and I bring you greetings on behalf of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts to the Urban League 110th celebration. Even though we're virtual, that's important because that means we're international. To Secretary Tutwiler, a great appointment by Governor Healy, to Interim Director Frisbee, past director, my fraternity brother, Thomas, to Vice President Cade, another one of my fraternity brothers, and to the award winners, JFK Middle School. The 3 award winners are tremendous people. They deserve this honor. And to your theme, closing the COVID educational gap between black and brown children. Black and brown students lost years during the past 3 years of learning. And the achievement gap, instead of getting smaller, has become wider. So Urban League, we thank you for your mission. We thank you for your work. We thank you for being on the battlefield of racial justice, equality, and fairness. And you understand the scars that black and brown people have gone through. You're fighting the battle. You're staying on the front, doing the right thing. So on behalf of the great and general court, we commend you for 110 years and wish you Godspeed and continue to stay true to your mission, which is to make the playing field balanced for all of us. So thank you, good luck, and Godspeed.
Congratulations, Urban League, on your 110th anniversary. My name is Latonia Monroe Naylor, and I am the Vice Chair of the Springfield School Committee. I bring you greetings on behalf of my colleagues. I am so excited to be here on this evening and to remember and acknowledge all of those that have come before me and have done a great job in this community, especially to the outgoing President, Henry Thomas. Your hard work and dedication has been memorable, and I'm so blessed to have been able to be a part of the work alongside with you. I'd also like to acknowledge the hard work and commitment of Yvette Frisbee, who is the interim president of the Urban League. I am so eager to continue to do this work with you and alongside you in our community. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful tool that we can use to change the world." And on tonight, each of our honorees have embodied those powerful words. Continue to do what you do. Continue to be who you are, because you have blessed and impacted so many of those around you and blessed our community. Congratulations.
At Comcast, we know that a diverse, equitable, and inclusive company is a more innovative and successful one. Across our workforce, products, and content, we embrace diversity of background, perspective, culture, and experience. From bringing broadband and digital skills training to underserved families, to creating opportunities for underrepresented entrepreneurs, to amplifying diverse voices, we're committed to leveraging our unique platforms to help create positive change. One of the ways we do this is by engaging our employees through our 9 employee resource groups, also known as ERGs, including our Black Employee Network. These ERGs empower employees to drive exceptional business results while supporting an inclusive, collaborative company culture. Through Project UP, our comprehensive initiative to advance digital equity and help build a future of unlimited possibilities, we are helping connect people to the internet, advance economic mobility, and open doors for the next generation of innovators, entrepreneurs, storytellers, and creators. Comcast has long supported the mission of the Urban League of Springfield in their advocacy and programming of services that enhance the academic and social development of young people and families, promote economic self-sufficiency, and foster racial inclusion and social justice. Much of our giving has been focused on supporting their digital equity programming through the Comcast NBC Universal Foundation, as well as leveraging our products and services to invest in the Urban League's Technology Center. In addition to the Urban League's digital equity work, Comcast has recognized the mission of Camp Atwater as a tremendous asset to the youth in our community. There is more work to do to make our communities a welcoming place for everyone, and Comcast looks forward to continuing to partner with the Urban League of Springfield to drive positive change. Thank you to the Urban League of Springfield team for your ongoing commitment to the greater Springfield community.
Urban League of Springfield provides a broad array of services that have significant impact on families, youth, adults, and seniors throughout the region by providing model services that enhance the academic and social development, promote economic self-sufficiency, fostering racial inclusion and social justice. Over 6,000 individuals across the age spectrum have been the beneficiaries of the Urban League of Springfield's direct services. Here are a few examples of our work for the greater Springfield community. The Urban League of Springfield, Inc. and the Urban League of Eastern Mass are collaborating with Interrise and received a $3 million ARPA grant. The grant supports the Streetwise MBA program for small businesses in the community during a 7-month program, which business persons meet every other week for 3 hours, focusing on peer-to-peer mentoring, understanding financials and projections, gaining access to capital, and developing a 3-year growth strategy. The National Urban League and the CDC awarded the Urban League of Springfield a 3rd year of funding to assist in serving community residents who are affected by COVID-19. The Urban League partnered with Black Springfield COVID-19 Coalition, the Bay Area Neighborhood Council, and Men of Color Health Awareness to coordinate webinars, health presentations, vaccination and booster sites, and mass distributions in Greater Springfield. The Urban League also partnered with Cataldo Ambulance Services to assist in marketing and distributing $75 gift cards for anyone who received a vaccination or booster. The Urban League's education department provides space and opportunity for young adults to aspire for greatness. Through the Project Ready program, students engage in workshops that prepare them for the college process, including college searches and tours, career research, and exposure to various career professionals, both in person and virtually. The program also prepares students with real-world experiences by engaging them in a service learning project that connects their academics and social skill sets with applicable activities that help them engage in their community. Scholarships were presented to 35 deserving students from Springfield pursuing higher education. They demonstrated successful academic performance and active community service. The Urban League provides scholarships in the amount of $30,000 to $40,000 per year for the African American Scholarship Fund, which is maintained at the Community Foundation of Western Mass. The Urban League of Springfield partnered with Springfield Public Schools in implementing the National Urban League's Project Ready Historical and Cultural Literacy Curriculum Project. The historical focus of this project was the Great Migration of the early 20th century, which in millions of African Americans left social, economic, and political pressures of the post-Civil War South in pursuit of freedom and economic opportunities in northern industrial cities, which include Springfield. Over a span of 2 months, 6th grade students from Isaiah Gregory's social studies class at John F. Kennedy Academy studied this historical period through readings, class discussion, guest lectures, and by conducting oral histories of Springfield residents whose families or themselves took part in the Great Migration. The Urban League collaborates with the Food Bank of Western Mass to operate and manage 2 food essential programs. Mobile Food Bank delivers a truck full of free, fresh, and non-perishable groceries to the Dunbar Center parking lot every 4th Friday of the month for immediate distribution to residents. The program reaches underserved populations in Springfield. The Urban League seniors distribute healthy foods for families, seniors, and children. There are no requirements to receive the food, and over 200 families are served per month. The Brown Bag Program is another food distribution program that is managed by our senior volunteers. The food is bagged and distributed to senior residents of the community. The seniors operate the program with passion and hard work. The brown bags are distributed on the first Friday of each month at our warehouse space, 1 Federal Street. The Urban League's Digital Technology Learning Lab provides enough space, which enables volunteers to comply with physical and social distancing guidelines. The Digital Learning Lab provides computer skills training for efficient and effective usage of computers and internet services. The center is equipped for teleconferences for small groups, webinars, meetings, and trainings. The Urban League, in conjunction with the United States Tennis Association, operates the Urban Youth Tennis Program, which is funded by the United States Tennis Foundation and Western New England Tennis Association. The program has operated for over 12 years during the summer months at Blunt Park in Springfield. The program now operates its fall and winter programs at the Ludlow Tennis Club. Youth participants are between the ages of 5 and 17. The Foster Grandparent Program is a program designed for seniors 55 and over. The FGP volunteers work with special needs children by mentoring and tutoring them at local schools, daycare centers, after-school programs, and libraries throughout Greater Springfield. FGP volunteers work between 5 to 20 hours, and programs operate in all 4 local counties, serving more than 80 seniors. Camp Atwater has a historic presence in the summer youth camp experience. Camp Atwater is the oldest African-American camp in the country, serving youth from various cities nationwide. Camp Atwater is a National Historic Place listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. Youth that attend camp are between the ages of 8 and 16. The camp program is considered a traditional camp, focusing on youth development, self-assuredness and awareness, self-discipline, and recreational activities. Those include sports, performing arts and crafts. Camp Atwater is located in Worcester County in North Brookfield, on about 80 acres of forest and waterfront property. Camp Atwater has been closed for the last 2 years, but will return to full operations for this summer 2023. For more information about our summer programming and to register, visit campatwater.org. The Urban League's Summer Thang Summer Nights is back again this year at Camp Atwater for 6 consecutive weeks. Youth activities will be held at the Urban League's Technology Learning Lab. Activities will include dance, theater, poetry, tech games, and more. Summer Thang is funded by the state's Summer Nights initiatives. Parents should contact Betty Johnson at the Urban League for more information. The Urban League of Springfield staff is comprised of the newly appointed interim president and CEO, Yvette Frisbee, Andrew Cade, the senior vice president, Wilda Griffin and Sulamita Pataya, the program coordinators of FGP, Betty Johnson, the executive admin and accounts manager, and James Lightfoot, director of youth and education. Dr. Cheryl Stanley, education consultant, and Dr. Shakina Williams, small business initiatives. Dedicated volunteers Elizabeth Wallace, Laura Watkins, Patricia Warren, Odessa Wilson, and Joe Johnson. The Urban League of Springfield is engaged in public policy advocacy work to advance the Urban League's mission and to improve the quality of life of our constituents. It's important that we, the Urban League, have a voice at various arenas that have direct or indirect impact on services, access, and critically important information sharing in health and wellness, civic engagement, wealth access, learning, and development. We are the Urban League of Springfield, Inc., empowering communities, changing lives.
Good evening. My name is Kurt Marcellin. I'm a long-standing board member of the Urban League of Springfield. I'd like to welcome you this evening to our 110th anniversary celebration. Each year, during the Urban League's anniversary celebration, we identify individuals who display attributes to better the community and symbolize the true character of a community builder. Recipients are selected based on their obvious commitment towards building a stronger, more viable, and more equitable community. Their leadership, benevolence, generosity, and thoughtfulness on various levels has proven to be extremely supportive and caring. The Urban League would like to thank you by awarding you a token of our appreciation for all that you are doing to help build a stronger, more viable community. Tracy Little Sasanecki is a lifelong resident of Springfield, Mass. She grew up in a 2-parent household and was a Medco student who attended Longmeadow School during a time of extreme racism. She graduated from Longmeadow High School and attended Westfield State University in 1986 and graduated from the UConn School of Social Work, obtaining her MSW in 1989. Tracy began working in the field of social services in 1989 by working in a group of homes for emotionally disturbed children at the WWW Johnson Life Center. She also worked at the Behavioral Health Network as a crisis clinician for 25 years, evaluating families who were at risk for suicidal and homicidal behaviors. Tracy began her professional school counseling service for the city of Springfield in 1994, where she became more involved in the local Springfield Education Association and the Massachusetts Teachers Association Union and the NEA, attending workshops, conferences, leadership summits to gain a better understanding and help shape the world on a different level. She has presented at many workshops with MTA and SEA, which has led her to her new role. Tracy has recently been elected to a second term as president of the Springfield Education Association. She is currently on the Massachusetts Teachers Association Board of Directors. Tracy Little Sassanecki is well deserving of the Urban League of Springfield Community Builder Award. Congratulations, Tracy.
Good evening. I am deeply honored and humbled to receive the prestigious Community Builder Award from the Urban League of Springfield, Incorporated. Your theme this year, Closing the Education COVID Gap for Black and Brown Children, is important to me because I strive every day to remedy the educational inequalities that exist for Black and Brown children. As a president of the SEA Springfield Education Association, it's one of my goals to help ensure that every student and family receive quality education, a sense of community, belonging, opportunities, safety, and help in developing structures and places to achieve their goals to set out for them. We can do better, and we will. Again, I am thankful to the Urban League of Springfield, Incorporated, for recognizing me for this award. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm W.C. Watson, Jr., and it's my honor to present to you Darcia Milner Watkins for this occasion. Darcia Milner Watkins began her career with the Springfield Public Schools some 32 years ago and has a wealth of educational experience as a paraprofessional, teacher, and principal, who was appointed in August of 2018 to the superintendent's cabinet as a chief schools officer. Rising through the ranks, Ms. Milner's dedication, advocacy for our children's self-reflective behavior, mentoring skills, and unwavering commitment has been at the core of her purpose within the educational profession and is exhibited in all that she does. As a current Chief Schools Officer for Zone 1, overseeing 17 of the 35 elementary schools within the district, Ms. Milner Watkins is responsible for the development and supervision of instructional programs in all schools within that zone. She works closely with the superintendent and with the school committee in their commitment to increase diversity, inclusion, and racial equity within the Springfield Public Schools. Ms. Milner Watkins has taken on increasing leadership responsibilities on her educational track throughout her career. For instance, she has served as a former principal of the Rebecca Johnson School, where she oversaw some 175 staff and 850 students. She has served as a principal of the Daniel Brunton Elementary School, as well as an assistant principal at the Forest Park Middle School. And she has been an education coordinator at the Martin Luther King Community Center. Ms. Milner Watkins was one of the first graduates of the district's Project Lead UMass Leaders Graduate Program, where she was mentored by Superintendent Daniel Warwick, from whom she embraced the motto that is all about the children. In terms of her personal academic achievements, Ms. Milner Watkins holds a Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies from the University of Massachusetts, a Master of Education from Cambridge College, a Bachelor of Science in Special Education and Psychology from the American International College, and an Associate in Liberal Arts from Springfield Technical Community College. She is a proud mother of some 4 children, Jasmine, Michael, Mariah, and Brian, and she is the marvelous Mimi of some 7 grandchildren. As a strong woman of faith, it is her constant prayer that she will always be a role model for them. It is my honor on behalf of the Urban League of Springfield to present Darcia Milner Watkins as a recipient of the 2023 Community Builder Award. We're thankful for all that she's done, and we know that there's much that she'll continue to do.
Good evening. I'd like to thank Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, who's first in my life. My name is Darcia Milner Watkins. I'd like to thank the Urban League for being a recipient of the 2023 Community Builder Award. And I must say that I'm in great company. I'd like to congratulate Azel Kavan and Tracy Little Sassanecki as well. I am honored and truly humbled to be a recipient of this award. The Maasai tribe in Kenya, Africa, they have a traditional greeting, and that greeting is Kesarian Ngera. It means, and how are the children? And because they focus so much on what they do for the children, the next generation, they answer, the children are well. I have been in the field of education for 38 years, starting at the SAC Daycare and the Early Childhood Centers of Greater Springfield when they were located at 622 State Street. I know I'm dating myself. In 1991, I became employed by the Springfield Public Schools, and I've held many roles while climbing the proverbial ladder. I was a paraprofessional at Warner Elementary, an educator at the Rebecca Johnson Elementary School, an assistant principal at Forest Park Middle School, a principal at Brunton Elementary, and back home as a leader of Rebecca Johnson Elementary School. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Rebecca Johnson is actually my third aunt, a pioneer in this education world. As long as King Jesus continues to order my steps, he continues to cover me. As long as he continues to bless me and use me as a vessel to educate and advocate for our babies, I will do so without permission and apology. So in closing, I won't end with a quote. I'll end with a question. Wouldn't it be an exceptional thing, no matter our roles, parent, principal, educator, crossing guard, custodian, doctor, lawyer, judge, politician, wouldn't it be great if we all operated from a place where decisions were made and the essential question was, and how are the children? Ladies and gentlemen, there's much work to do. Again, Urban League, I'd like to thank you for this prestigious award. Very humble.
Good evening. My name is Wilma Tynes, and I'm on the board of directors at the Urban League of Springfield. And it is my honor to present Azel Kavan with an Urban League of Springfield Community Builders Award. Azel Kavan is an award-winning journalist who earned her master's degree from the Model School of Journalism at Northwestern University in Chicago, Illinois, one of the nation's premier journalism schools. She is the published author of thousands of articles that have appeared in newspapers and magazines, both nationally and internationally. Kavan's wide-ranging experience in the media industry includes having held staff writing positions for the Springfield Republican, the Boston Herald, the Chicago Daily Law Bulletin, and Legalese publications in London, England. In 1996, she covered Capitol Hill and Washington, D.C. as a correspondent for the Waterloo Courier. Kavan's extensive career also includes working as an adjunct journalism professor and media advisor at Northeastern University in Boston, her undergraduate alma mater. During her more than 20-year tenure as a journalist, Kavan interviewed such well-known individuals as President Bill Clinton, Spike Lee, Maya Angelou, and many others, yet she remains most moved by interviews she has conducted with ordinary people overcoming extraordinary circumstances, or in her words, true everyday heroes. In 2007, the late Mayor Charles V. Ryan solicited Kavan to the newly created position of Communications Director for the City of Springfield. Proudly, she continued to hold that position under the administration of the city's current mayor, the Honorable Dominic J. Sarno. In 2008, she was hired to create the Office of Communications for Springfield Public Schools, where she is responsible for the development and execution of an overarching communication strategy to establish and maintain mutually beneficial relationships between the district and its varied internal and external stakeholders. As Chief Communications Officer, Kavan established district protocols for media relations, including media training for administrative leaders, developed district guidelines for student and staff social media behavior and procedures for monitoring compliance, and established protocols for the execution of emergency communication. She functions as district spokesperson for routine and crisis communication and is host of several public broadcasts, including SBS Spotlight and Pod, the podcast. She serves as founder and president of the John H. Murphy Memorial Scholarship Incorporated and on the board of directors for the Massachusetts Women of Color Coalition. She's a member of the Public Health Institute of Western Massachusetts, Youth Mental Health Communications Committee, the National Association of Black Journalists, and National Schools Public Relations Associations. A certified yoga instructor, she is owner and operator of So Soulful Yoga and Wellness. It is without further ado I present Azel Kavan.
Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. These words seem appropriate for tonight's focus of closing the education gap for Black and Brown children. My name is Azel Kavan, and I am the proud recipient of the Urban League's 2023 Community Builder Award. This award means so much to me because the Urban League has been a part of our community for so long, helping students and so many others in so many ways, especially but not only during COVID. I'd like to thank the Springfield Urban League under the leadership of Yvette Frisbee as the interim president and CEO, and the entire staff for honoring me in this most meaningful way. I'd also like to recognize my fellow honorees, two phenomenal women, Darcia and Tracy. The Urban League has been a part of my life since I was a child. It was at Camp Atwater that I learned those lyrics and actually heard Lift Every Voice and Sing for the first time. So all these years later, to be recognized by this organization in this way is very humbling and gratifying, and I'm extremely grateful. I'd like to recognize my family for their love and support, my colleagues for their hard work and dedication, my community for their resilience and perseverance, and the Urban League of Springfield for all that they've given and will continue to give to our community.
The goal of the Urban League of Springfield is to enhance the academic and social development of young people. Our aim is to assist young leaders in their pursuit of academic achievement and exploration of future options so that as young adults, they can successfully navigate the system, advocate for themselves, give back to their community, and become self-sufficient. The Urban League wants to see all young people achieve, and we support them in their endeavors. That is why the Youth Achiever Award is so important. It recognizes that the recipient has demonstrated the knowledge, skills, and personal attributes necessary for overcoming barriers and reaching the goals that they themselves have set. The young person that receives this award has modeled excellence in leadership, academic achievement, and community service. I am pleased to present the 2023 Urban League Youth Achiever Award to the 6th grade Social Studies class at Kennedy Middle School. The 6th grade Social Studies class, cohorts 61, 62, and 63, completed the project on the Great Migration, which they completed in the fall of 2022 under the direction of their teacher, Mr. Isaiah Gregory. We're recognizing the John F. Kennedy Academy for their success this year, and they'll be receiving the Urban League of Springfield's Annual Youth Award. Congratulations.
You're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I'll see it in you, so we can walk it out and move mountains. We can walk it out and move mountains. I'll rise up, rise like the day. Now rise up, rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the wave. And I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you, for you. All we need is hope, and for that we have each other. And for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we'll rise. Oh, we will rise. And I'll rise up, rise like the day, and I'll rise up in spite of the earth. 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up, high like the wave, and we'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again, for you, for you, for you.
Good evening. I am Maurice Poe, and I'm the chair of the Urban League Board of Springfield. We welcome you to tonight's event. Welcome to the Urban League of Springfield's 110th anniversary celebration. These are exciting times at the Urban League. We are in the midst of a great transition. Over 50 years ago, Henry Thomas dedicated his life to the Springfield community. And over the years, his service has been greatly appreciated. Recently, Henry announced his retirement, and we welcome that retirement. We welcome the opportunity to celebrate his life of service and all the things that he has done. And throughout this time, in these years, we have witnessed the great work of the Urban League. We've watched as the Urban League has empowered communities and changed lives. And we continue to do this through this next phase of the Urban League. So tonight, we welcome you to this great event. We welcome you to come and be a part of the great things that are happening at the Urban League. We welcome our interim president and CEO, Yvette Frisbee, and we are looking forward to a greater days and greater things to come. So enjoy tonight's events as we celebrate the community, and we look forward to the next move of the Urban League of Springfield. Patrick Tutwiler, PhD, is the Secretary of the Executive Office of Education and the first Black person to ever hold this role in the history of Massachusetts. As Massachusetts Secretary of Education, Tutwiler directs the Executive Office of Education which oversees early education, K-12, and higher education. Secretary Tutwiler sits on each of the boards governing the Commonwealth's education agencies, as well as the University of Massachusetts system. He is Governor Maura Healey's top advisor on education and helps shape the Commonwealth's education agenda. Before being sworn in as secretary, Dr. Tutwiler served as the senior program officer at the Boston-based Bar Foundation, a grant-making organization focused on arts, climate, and education, where he specialized in developing new high school models that will have a positive impact across the entire school system. He has more than 20 years of experience in public education as a high school history teacher, a high school principal, and as a superintendent of the Lynn Public Schools. As Lynn superintendent, Secretary Tutwiler led a collaborative, equity-centered effort that resulted in increased graduation rates and decreased push-out rates, a more racially diverse faculty and staff, and the establishment of Massachusetts' second-largest early college program. He earned a BA from the College of the Holy Cross, a master's in education from Harvard University Graduate School of Education, and a PhD in curriculum and instruction from the Lynch School of Education at Boston College. He lives in Andover with his family. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome Patrick Tutwiler, the Secretary of Education.
Good evening. Thank you to the Urban League of Springfield for all of the work that you do, and congratulations on 110 years of empowering communities across Springfield and beyond. I have such deep respect for the work that you do to advocate for equity and advance opportunities, especially for young people of color. It is an honor to be in community with you all this evening. And thank you to all of the educators, nonprofit partners, district leaders, and supporters who are joining us on this call. My name is Patrick Tutwiler, and I am the Secretary of Education in the Healey administration. By way of brief introduction, I have spent the past 22 years honing my skills as an educator to be everything that my students, families, and colleagues have needed me to be. My journey began many moons ago as a student teacher at Boston English High School. I then went on to become a history teacher at Brighton High School, and later a principal in Wayland. Back to Brighton as headmaster, and my last stop in K-12 was as superintendent in the city of Lynn. I've come to a set of core beliefs, ones that I hold dear, that have guided my philosophy as an educator. They were solidified for me through an interaction I had with a mentor early in the early stages of my career. That philosophy is wrapped in a statement he once shared with me, and it goes like this. As leaders in education, we must love the student, the teacher, and the craft of teaching, none more than the other, but in that order. That has and continues to be my anchor, the place to which I retreat on decisions and proposals, the impetus to keep learning, or simply the foundation for reflection. As we, and I really want to underscore we, as we move forward in this work together, I thought it would be helpful to offer something of a guiding principle that we can all connect to as we work to forge a brighter path for Massachusetts students of all ages. Stabilize, heal, and transform. I submit to you that these principles may serve as a framework as we approach the work ahead. The use of the words stabilize and heal are deeply intentional and designed to convey that we are still in a recovery period. We are not back. There are two major areas, among others, where we continue to experience great challenge, both of which we must address if we are to stabilize and heal. Both are enabling conditions and foundational to sustain transformation, staffing, and mental health. Beyond that, we aren't just trying to get back. We are envisioning a future beyond what existed before the pandemic and are working toward creating lasting change that is not limited by the previous goalposts. Having just left the role of superintendent some months ago, and because I stay in close communication with colleagues in the field, I am deeply familiar with the present day challenges schools are experiencing, particularly in the urban setting. At the same time, I feel incredible optimism around our ability to meet those challenges. With Governor Healy and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, we have begun to tackle these issues in our first budget proposal. This includes fully funding the Student Opportunity Act and designating investments toward mental health and increased staffing and retention options, with a specific focus on diversifying our educator pipeline. This first and important step conveys our genuine commitment to stabilizing and healing here and across the state. I would be remiss if I didn't highlight another important part of healing, a part that is not wrapped up in a budget or policy. We must acknowledge the need to partner with each other to improve the narrative around the teaching profession. We all went through a very scary time together, and we're working our way back together. And it's hard, I know this. How can we shift the narrative to be an all call for the best and brightest? How can we all partner to sound the alarm, attracting people to want to be part of the solution, who want to inspire the next core of leaders and thinkers? How can we elevate the stories of how the profession continues to evolve and how schools continue to be ideas places where innovation and creativity happen in the purest form? And how can we attract a diverse set of teachers to the classroom so that students have the opportunity to see themselves reflected in staff and faculty of their school? Somehow, some way, the narrative must improve. By transform, I refer to, in part, the evolution that happened in profound ways on all levels over the past 2.5 years. Although I would say that the substance and depth of these evolutions reflect the early markers of transformation. Change does not equal transformation. For example, I see real value in the extraordinary increase in technology with new and different equipment and platforms across all levels. But I'm talking more about how those things are used and what behaviors and even beliefs are evolved as a result. By transform, I'm referring to how this is just the beginning. We have to ask ourselves, have we transformed our students' educational experiences to be everything we can imagine for them and everything they deserve? What does that even look like? I'll offer you one example. It involves reimagining high school in the state of Massachusetts. We, in partnership with our partners, are forging a path to support communities across the Commonwealth in reimagining high school. The expansion of early college, innovation pathways, and programs like After Dark, which provides expanded access to vocational programming, are significant pieces. But I think we need to go further. I see the implementation of those initiatives not as add-ons, but rather an invitation to think more broadly about the high school experience. With equity at the core, we see and honor the diverse needs, interests, perspectives, and life experiences of all students. Redesigned learning experiences includes creating innovative access points and pathways, embracing opportunities for student engagement, increasing class relevancy with deeper hands-on instruction, collaborating with industry partners to provide wider access to work-based learning experiences, and creating deeper advising models to empower all Massachusetts students to make informed career and college choices. It means all of this, and redesigning our systems to ensure that we're considering historically marginalized students first instead of as an afterthought. Stabilize, heal, transform. The theme of tonight's event is closing the COVID education gap with Black and brown children. The framework of Stabilize, Heal, and Transform is designed to do just that. It's critical that this thinking is not limited to a response to the pandemic. We must meet the moment we are in and create changes within our systems of education that uplift and empower students of color this year and into the future. We have the opportunity to make lasting change, to redefine the education experience of every student in the Commonwealth. There is so much more I can offer with each principal, but I think you have the idea. I challenge you all to take that message with you today. I know that the Urban League of Springfield and other partners viewing this event are playing a key role in advancing access to education, especially for our students of color, which is critical to our goal of transformation. Partners on this call are also working tirelessly to address the mental health needs of students and families, a critical foundation for our efforts to stabilize and heal. And to all of the partners and supporters on this call, thank you for your continued support. It will take all of us to move forward in the best way for our students. Along with Governor Healy and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, I am committed to furthering these efforts in partnership with you all, so we can deliver the high-quality education that every student in Massachusetts deserves. This work will require a push from all of us, and we are committed to that push. I look forward to our partnership in the months and years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tutwiler, for providing this evening's timely message on closing the COVID education gap with Black and brown children. I also want to thank our sponsors for their generous support in celebration of this milestone in the Urban League of Springfield's rich history. I want to acknowledge Board Chair Maurice Poe and our prestigious board for their continued dedication and commitment. Congratulations to our honorees this evening, our community builders, Azel Kavan, Darcia Milner, and Tracy Little Sasnecki, and our Youth Achiever Awardee, John F. Middle School. Now, more than ever, educational excellence and equity is imperative to the future of our young people and our community. Headlines across this nation signify that we are clearly being tested in unimaginable ways. The Urban League of Springfield stands steadfast and committed to fight for social justice, racial inclusion, and equality for our African American community. We are deeply devoted to moving forward, moving onward, moving upward. The Urban League of Springfield will continue fortifying collective partnerships to create strong synergy with other dedicated organizations and stakeholders committed to like-minded cause for social advocacy and oversight. By providing stellar services to our youth, seniors, and families, we can achieve economic self-sufficiency while enriching academic and social advancement. A perfect example is our crown jewel, Camp Atwater, which is reopening this July, enjoying a rich legacy that spans a 100-plus year history. Camp Atwater has served over 60,000 youth from across the U.S. and abroad. Many of us in attendance this evening are proud products of this amazing, long-standing, and incredibly successful institution that continues to make a difference. This critical work we are all doing will ensure that the organization remains true to our mission in the coming months and years ahead to bring about economic growth and prosperity, educational excellence and equity, mental and physical health and wellness for our people and our community. I am honored to be a part of this storied organization, and I am deeply grateful for the foundation that has been laid. In my new role as interim president and CEO, I am deeply committed to building upon this celebrated legacy and pledge to move the organization forward with a goal of achieving even greater institutional heights. With the support of our dedicated board members and staff, we will continue to carve a pathway towards achieving our goals and making a meaningful and lasting impact on our community. Thank you all for attending this evening and becoming a special part of our 110th anniversary celebration. God bless and good night.